All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful week so far. And hopefully you guys are ready to get going. All right, so opened up a little early today. We're going to wait till 8:35 to get everybody kind of tuned in here. Give me a few minutes and I'm going to go and pop up some tweets and some messages in the Discord to get everybody in here, and then we'll get started. So now, perfect. All right, let's go. Don, good morning. Eric, my man, good morning. Flomed, good morning, my man. Eric, early birds get the worm. That's right. Christine, good morning. Tony, good morning. I heard this is the future millionaire chat. Hell yeah, baby. Let's go. All right. Love it, love it, love it. Let's wait for everybody to kind of tune in here. And once we get that, we can get her going. Legit Movers Chicago, what's going on? Good morning. M. Frost, good morning. What am I thinking about Starbucks? Pretty nice run up yesterday. We'll really need to get that thing over 93.30 to see how it goes. If it decides to push over that, might be interesting, but we'll hold off for the questions until after we go over everything, and then I'll get into some of the questions that you guys may have. Raj, good morning, man. The godson, top of the morning. Oscar, what's going on, man? Good morning. Mr. Snowboarder, kaka. I liked the video yesterday. JC, good morning. Alright guys, we're getting a few people kind of rolling in here. We're going to wait till 8:35 to get everyone kind of in. Once everyone is here, obviously we'll start off with the market sentiment, what we're looking at in regards to the SPY and the Qs. And after that, we'll go over some of the free alerts. And then we'll talk about some of the tickers that you guys may have questions about and what you guys are thinking to do with them. Nancy, my biggest fan, good morning. Everyone smash that like button. Yes, yes, yes. If you guys are here, let's go ahead and smash that like button. Would greatly appreciate it. All right, got 5 minutes here. We'll wait for everyone else to kind of tune in. Here we go. Bishu, good morning. Tony, smash that like button. Yes, sir. All right, all right, all right. Mr. Matage, what's going on? Good morning. I don't usually drink coffee in the mornings, but I got this sick coffee machine. And it auto brews coffee for me at a certain time. So I've been drinking coffee in the mornings. Alkazi, good morning, my man. What trading platform are you using? I am using the TD Think or Swim, which is unfortunately no longer available to Canadians, as I am a Canadian. However, I was grandfathered in. Mr. Wick, good morning, my man. Anthony, good morning. Edgar, good morning. Tuino, good morning. West Adventures 1996, good morning. Alright guys, we're going to wait about 4 minutes before we get started here. Just want kind of everyone to have an opportunity to come in before I start getting into the nitty and gritty. Once everyone is in here, we'll get started with the markets. bougie coffee. No, actually, it's not even that. I don't even know what kind of coffee it is, to be honest. It's not Maxwell, I know that. Alright. Man, I hope everybody's safe out there. Alright. 3 more minutes. And then we can get it kicked off. Good old Thursday. I'm always excited for Thursdays, because that means tomorrow is Lotto Friday. Lotto Friday can be a fun thing. Alright, let's take a look at what happened to the jobs report numbers. Jobless claims came in. Not that big of a deal here. 1476 versus the forecasted 1475. Alright guys, we got 43 people here and only 26 likes. Some of you are slacking. Go ahead and smash that like button. Let's take a look at how the SPY reacted to that. Jobless numbers. It didn't really react. Alright, let's pop back to the daily. Perfect. Alright guys, 2 more minutes. My patient little early birds will get going here in 2 minutes. Before I get going, let's do a little mic check. 1 2 1 2. Screen's clear. You guys can hear me. Chat's working. She'll be getting going here in about 2 minutes. Nice. People are slowly trickling in here. 1 more minute and we'll get going here. Did chat freeze or did you guys just stop talking? Shelly, good morning. Jose Alvarez, what's going on, my man? Steve, yo. All right, looks like all is good. Michael Investor, good morning. Scott, good morning. Chatting, everything smooth. All right, West Adventures, you're good. Awesome, guys. All right, so a few seconds here and we'll get started. Again, we'll start with the market sentiment, SPY and the Qs. We'll get into the free alerts, and at the end, if you guys have any questions regarding any tickers, please let me know. Are you looking to day trade it or swing trade it? Are you looking to buy calls or puts, or are you looking to day trade? I think I mentioned that already. All right, so it's 8:35, guys. Without further ado, I'm gonna get involved. I'm gonna get started here. Past commission fees with a small account. Florikith, that was one of the biggest issues that I had. Unfortunately, I never came in with a small account, and that was one of the biggest reasons why I lost so much money when I first started. But because I came in with such a big amount of a big dollar amount when I first started, and I burnt through so much of my account, pretty much blew up my first account. Over that time frame, CD had actually, I called them a few times, and I was able to bring my commissions down a lot from $10.99 down to $3.95. So I lost a big chunk of money when I first started because he came in with big money. However, I managed to bring my commission down. That was the only positive from that. All right, guys, so let's get started. If you have any questions about the platform and how commissions, everything works in Canada, you can always DM me. Here we are, guys, the SPY. So, pretty much the entire last month, we've been here. I've walked you through all this. We talked about this little double top. We talked about the neckline breaking down. We talked about the 200 moving average being as an area of resistance now. And then we finally had that, 2200 cross. And now, we popped back up. Last 4 days, we've been using this 347.80 as an area of resistance. We keep struggling above that 347.80 level. we also have this 20 moving average here that's acting as resistance, right? So when candles are above these moving averages, the moving averages are going to act as support, all right? When we get under the moving averages, then these moving averages are going to act as resistance, and that's exactly what's happening here, all right? Obviously, on this day, that's when the first attacks kind of happened in Ukraine, so we had this massive gap down, but we saw people bought this up, right? In the last 4 days, we've kind of consolidated here. So let's take a look at a closer time frame and really get into the nitty and gritty of what I'm looking at today, okay? So I'm gonna pop my levels up here. You guys might get a little dizzy with my levels, but the key thing that I'm keeping an eye on today, guys, is gonna be this 438.70, 439 level, right? Why? Because we've come up to this area once, we've come up to this area twice, 3 times, 4 times, and we keep rejecting. So there's obviously some sort of selling pressure that's taking place at this 438.70, 439 level, all right? So this is what I'm gonna keep an eye on, okay? If we are able to get above this level early on, then we can look for that push to the 440 and then the 441.18, all right? Now, if we manage to stay strong most of the day, then the levels that I'm looking at on the upside are 442, 443, and ultimately we're looking at this 445, 446 level, right? Simply, you know, this move is going to be pretty aggressive. If we get above this 440 level, there's going to be a lot of stocks that are going to kind of break out of consolidation. We've kind of been in a sideways consolidation the last 4 days in the SPY. You can see right here, if we break above that, then we should see a smooth move at least to these 445s, 446 levels, okay? Now, what are we going to do if we fail to get above this 449, 438 level, all right? What's going to happen here is if we reject this, then we're most likely going to roll over as we've rolled over multiple other times. If we are unable to get above that level, we're going to roll back over, and the area that we're looking to fall down towards is going to be obviously this 437.87, this 436.75. You can see clear support here in the after hours and pre-market at this level, and that's going to be pretty pivotal for today's action, because if we lose that pre-market low, you're going to see a lot of selling pressure come in, and you're going to fall to this 435.69 and ultimately this 433.93. okay, this 433.93 was another vital level on the SPY. 433.93 and 433. These both were key areas in the last few trading days as well, right? Lose that, obviously 430.95, and that's kind of where I would think the SPY is going to kind of end at, all right? So again, we're going to keep an eye on this 439.70, 438.70 area. That's going to be the key thing to look at going into today, all right? Going to pop back up and go into the Qs here, all right? So very similar thing with the Qs. The only thing is we can sense weakness in regards to the overall tech sector. How? Well, you know, when we put in this little double top on the SPY, we were well above the 200 moving average. Now we're under it. We actually have that 50-200 cross that took place here on the Qs as well. Some people will say, oh my God, that's the death cross. You know, I don't pay too much attention to that. However, it is under the moving averages, and we are using these moving averages as resistance. And very similar look again here, even though we are overall weaker in some of the tech sectors, we are consolidating here for the 4 days. And the level that I'm watching again on the Qs, let me put in the levels here, is going to be this 348, all right? Very similar to what we had on the SPY. We have an area where we reject, right? We're constantly rejecting at this 348. So that's going to be a level that I'm kind of monitoring and watching going into today. All right, if we can push early on, if we can get above these levels of 348 and hold strong above it, then obviously we're looking at a nice push to this 350. This area has been a key area on the Qs in the last few weeks, and that's the first area of resistance that we're going to run into. Okay, if we get into that, I have little areas of resistance, 351.48, 352.35, that we're going to have to get above, and above that we kind of open up to 350.78 and then 355. All right, that's going to be essentially the top side. these 350, 378 areas is going to be pretty vital if we push above this 350, all right? Now, again, just like we talked about the upside, we got to understand what's going to happen if we reject this 348 area, right? If we reject this 348 area, then we're looking for a pullback down to these supports right here, which is at this 346.30, 346 level. Lose that, we can fall to the 344.30, all right, an area that's previously been proven to be resistance and support. Under that, 342 and 341, all right? So again, very vital to pay attention to this 348 level at the open and what's going to happen once we do open into that level, okay? So that's in regards to the Qs and the SPY. So I'm going to take a minute and pop up the free alerts that I have. And the first one is CSX. All right. Now, why CSX and why do I think this one's going to make a run? All right. So the game plan here is this. If we can get this over this 34.75 area, simply that is yesterday's resistance. I don't have any other resistance until 35.30. That means if we get above this 34.75, we could see a nice push to the 35.30. All right. Now, if we lose the 34.50, which is an area where we had a strong push and consolidation above that level, lose this 34.50, we could very easily come back down to those 33 levels, right? So over the 34.75, 34.76, I'd be looking to buy some calls towards this 35.30, and if we lose 34.50, I'd be looking to buy some puts towards that 33.77. All right. Again, make sure you have the SPY and the Qs next to your charts, and you're aware of what's actually going on. All right. So that's in regards to CSX. Next one is QCOM. At the end of this, I'll talk about how you guys can take the alerts. I know a lot of people have questions in regards to that, so we'll talk about that as well. All right, so QCOM here, 170 calls over 170.50. All right, that's simply this right here. We have this pivot high at 170.50, and if we can get above it, we do have room to push to this 173.05, which is a level of resistance I have on the daily chart that was again respected back here on, what is this, February 28th. Okay, so if we get above 170.50, great, looking to buy calls. Now if we get under that 167.50 area, which is this little low right here, then we can see a sell-off. Ideally, I would want to see this push above the 170.50 so we can run it up to the 173. All right, next one on the list is TGT. So obviously had earnings not too long ago. Watching this one over the 226 being yesterday's high here. Again, this level is not very well respected. As you can see, we've shoved through that, but we do have room to push to this 229 level, which we managed to close under and respect it again in this area. All right, above the 226, we should see the push, and under the 224 level right here, which is just essentially this prior low right here, we can see the sell-off. All right, now how do you take these trades? Let's jump into CSX here. All right, so this is usually what I do. Within the first 5 minutes, I take the trade as it comes. So if it's in the first 5 minutes and we open up and we're about to trigger, I take the trade right there. Obviously, given that there's enough volume, given that there's enough, there's a tight spread, then I take the alert within the first 5 minutes and I kind of anticipate this breakout and I get involved right here at the open. All right, and then I anticipate this big strong push up and I take profits on that move up. All right, now obviously doing that, you risk the opportunity for this to get stuffed and for it to roll over, but that's the risk that I'm willing to take because I know there's not much resistance until at least that 35.30 level. All right, now if 15, 20, 30 minutes has gone by and the stock is just consolidating like this, hasn't really done anything, what you're looking for is you're looking to wait for this breakout to happen and then come back and retest that level. Then you can look to see if this is going to hold up and then take the trade for continuation higher. All right, so if the first 5 minutes I'm taking the trigger right as it happens, and after the first 20, 30 minutes when price action really slows down, you really want to wait for that breakout and retest before you get involved on the trades, right? So that is that. So now I'm going to pop at the chat here, guys. If you guys are here, there's about 74 of you. Go ahead and smash the like button right before I get into the chat. If you have any questions regarding some of the tickers you want me to go over, please let me know. Are you looking to day trade it? Are you looking to buy calls or puts? Or are you looking to swing trade it? And again, are you looking to buy calls or puts? All right, so I'm going to get into the chat, see if you guys have any questions, and we'll get going from there. All right, thanks for your transparency. Good morning. Yes, IBKR, but you need 2,500 for options training. Correct. I need a Canadian support group for options, I swear. All right, I had a gentleman ask me about Starbucks. So I'm going to pop up Starbucks while we have it here. Let's take a look at the daily. So pretty strong push yesterday. We had this push again, kind of sideways consolidation, pushing back above this 92.70 support resistance area. All right, so looking at the 15-minute time frame, you know, it's not bad. If we can get back above this 93.30 level or even this 93 level, we should see a nice strong push to that 94.37, which is an area I have resistance on again. All right. Starbucks swing / day trade, seeing a RSI divergence on the daily. Price action looks really good, sitting around a strong support area right now. 91.92, plugging fib, price sitting at 50%. Yes, so I don't use RSI, but if you do see an RSI divergence and we do hold up above this 92.69 level, great. For a swing, I would probably need a better, reversal pattern here, at least back above the 20 moving average for you to get involved in the swing. But for a day trade, I don't mind it, like I said, over that 93.30 level. All right. Vishu is asking about Tesla. Again, if you can let me know what you're looking to do with it, day trade, swing trade, calls, puts. This way I have a more better understanding of what you're actually thinking to do. So Tesla, strong push over that 200 moving average again. Obviously looks like there's a lot of buyers stepping up under that 200 moving average. We're getting back above it. Yesterday we put in pretty good buying pressure all day on it. And something to keep an eye on here on Tesla is this 890 level, right? Let's clear that. You know what? No, let's keep that there. Let's go into the 15-minute time frame. So this 890 level seems to be the area of resistance, right? You'd have to wait for this to kind of get above that 890 for a day trade. Then you're going to fight this big 900. All right. Ideally, what I would want this to happen here is we get this push here. We consolidate nice and steady under this 900. We form some sort of a flag pennant, and then we can take that trigger over the 900 because we have a nice gap until the 930. That's a 30-point move that we can take advantage of if we are given a good opportunity to get in at that 900 level. Any cybersecurity stock for long or swing trade? Not any that I know at the top of my head. I haven't really looked at any at the moment. But if you have a few you want me to look at, let me know the ticker and I'll take a look at it. Looking at calls for a reversal trend. Yes. So I think you're still referring to Starbucks, which we talked about. Wheat. I think you're actually talking about wheat, or are you looking at this wheat ETF? Anyways, let's take a look. So obviously wheats and all these things in relation to what's going on in Ukraine have had a significant push. You're looking to buy April 14-10 calls. I mean, I think what you're looking to do here is take advantage of what's going on. Now, I shouldn't say take advantage. You're trying to take the momentum, right, and ride this move up. However, you got to understand where it was and what it's at, right? If you're trying to buy those calls, you're not buying it on a form of, I have a strategy. You're buying it in regards to, I think there's something going on in the world and this is going to go up. So just based on that, again, I'm someone that likes to trade something only if there's a certain pattern or there's a good risk to reward. Here on this chart, I don't see anything in that regards, right? Just taking away the fact that this is wheat and it's pushing here on aggressive volume simply because of what's going on down in Ukraine. There's no pattern for me here. It's for me to buy calls here, and this has the opportunity to come all the way back down to the moving average is not something I want to get involved in. And it's a little extended, right? If we're just looking at it just on a chart basis, we are super extended. We've had a significant run, from This is a 30% run in the last 5 days, right? Ideally, maybe wait for a pullback into this, at least this prior high right here, which is around 830. Get closer to the moving average, then maybe you can try to buy the calls. But if you buy calls up here, you're essentially just chasing this move up, and that's not something that I'm for here. Simon, PLTR put day trade below 12. Let's take a look at PLTR. So PLTR had actually pretty good buying that took place yesterday at that 1140 level. So let's take a look at the 15-minute time frame. Put under 12. It is under that 12 level. It's kind of sitting at 1190 right now. Yeah, you know, if it's obviously under that, so it needs to open and reject. If it does fall back under 1190, I would say you could try to take advantage of the puts down to the 1170 and then 1140. You can see the 1140 has been an area of support. Once here, right? Once here. And also this area was also resistance prior, right? So a good area is that 1140 level. Now, if we can break under this little micro support that we have, then we can look for that pull to the 1170 and 1140. All right, so not a bad idea. It is currently under the 12 area, but you would need to kind of lose under this 1190 to get that yank to the 1170 and ultimately the 1140. Tesla looking to break out with Berlin news, and the chart looks strong, breaking the months-long downtrend. So I think we talked about Tesla not too long ago. Let me pull up Tesla again. I would really want Tesla over that 900 level. Over that, we can look to take advantage of some calls to the 930. But to buy calls at this 890 level or even close to the 900 level, you're going to be fighting a lot of psychological resistance at 900 and an actual resistance at 890. If we get above 900, great. That move to the 930 could be possible. Day trade shares, day trade 1,000 shares. Yeah, I mean, the logic's still there. Still need to get over the 900 shares or options. Thank you for Starbucks. No problem. Mitch, when you're trading in real time, what are you looking at in the SPY and the Qs to inform your trade decision in a particular stock? So a few things that I'm looking at, Amish. Obviously, I have two charts that I have designated strictly for the Qs and the SPY, and I'm looking at a few things. One, is the stock following the Qs and the SPY, or is the stock showing relative weakness or relative strength against the SPY and the Qs? All right. So based on that, I can establish how I'm going to trade it. If I have a stock that's following the SPY, then I really need to focus on the SPY levels to understand, hey, if we break out, will we move higher? Then it's going to be following the SPY. If we have a stock that is showing me relative weakness against the SPY in the market, and the market's pushing and the stock is kind of selling off, great. That means that if the stock is selling off while the market is pushing and it starts consolidating, and if the market yanks, then that actual SPY will take a deeper dive because it's overall weakness, and with the market coming down, it's going to sell off a little bit more. So these are the kind of things and the small things that I kind of pay attention to. Relative weakness or relative strength, and I always have the SPY to see, hey, is the SPY going to continue moving higher? Is the SPY coming into resistance so I don't buy breakout trades? These are all the things that I pay attention to when I'm looking to day trade every day. All right. Can you look at LVS to take a call if it gets above 45? LVS. All right. Let's zoom out here. Let's go to 20 days. Let's see what this gives us. So it looks like there's a little bit of a gap here over that 45. 45 might be a little too high. 44.90 possibly. Let's take a look at the daily here. Yeah, I think if we get above yesterday's high, it should see a nice run. It will have a room to move up to the 46.50 area. Not to say it's going to do that today, but if you can get above this 44.90 level, it should see a nice move to at least, what do we say? To at least this 46.47 level. All right. Something that's come across my watch list a few times actually. So if we can get above this 44.89 level, great. We should see a push at least to this 46.50. That's that area of congestion. Next area of resistance, the first area of resistance we're going to come into. So yeah, I wouldn't mind that over 44.90 for a push to 46.50 on that one. Do you hold your trading overnight? I very rarely do. It needs to come off a few things that I have on my checklist. You know, if I'm in a trade, if I'm in a day trade, I'm obviously just day trading and I get out when I see my profits. But you know, sometimes I may hold an overnight. Very rarely do I do that. But if I do, it needs to be a strong, aggressive move. It needs to be a bullish candle. There needs to be almost no selling pressure. We need to close in the top, you know, 75, 80% percentile of the entire day. Those are the kind of things that I look for to hold something overnight. But in this market, in this condition, I very rarely do. DKNG call above 23.50 day trade. Let's take a look at DKNG. DKNG over 23.50. Let's take a look at the 50-minute time frame. 23.50. 23.50, not so much. Why? You have resistance at 23.60. You have this congestion happening here on this day, which is, what is this? March 1st. Not the best. You're not going to get a fluid move up here. Maybe if it does get above 24.30, you could try to take advantage for a move to 25, but I wouldn't get involved here at 23.50. Why? If you do get involved here, you're going to hit this resistance area right here, right? Bam, right there. Then you're going to hit this area of resistance, bam, right there. Over that, then you can try to kind of take advantage of the 25, but it really needs to get above at least this 24 level, 24.30 level for you to take advantage of the 25. All right. Tesla seems pretty correlated to the VIX. Do you have the VIX up also on the screen? No, I don't, because you know, if I'm seeing a market volatility, I already know what's going on with the VIX. If I don't see volatility, then I know the VIX is kind of dropping. If I see volatility come into the market, then I already know what's going on with the VIX. So I'm not really concerned to have VIX on the chart, but I do pop in and look at it once in a while to really see what's going on with it. Pre-market SPY above 440. What's the question here? All right, go, nice push. So that's exactly what we're talking about, right? Pre-market SPY above 440. Does that not matter in pre-market for the most part? No, it does matter, of course. It's levels, right? You know, once we're above that level that we were looking to get above, great, we saw that strength come in and they started buying it up, right? So now we're going to still see if we open up, are we going to hold that level? Are we going to stay above that level? NVIDIA calls. NVIDIA has been a stock that's been really correlated with the market. Ideally, I would want to see this over the 244 level. If we get above 244, we should see a push to the 246, and then ultimately we do have some room on the daily that we can take advantage of to push higher here, right? So 246 will be that prior high from a few days ago. If we can get above 244 over the 246.60, then we get a nice area that we can push into. All right. When do you use unusual whales versus TD scanner? What do you think cost earnings is scheduled for today? What do you think cost earnings is scheduled for today? I don't know. I don't really try to guess earnings. It's just 50-50. If you're going to trade it, use small size and go in with something that you can afford to watch go to zero, essentially. Okay. I usually use unusual whales to give me confirmation on a trade, whether it's a swing trade or day trade. I use that to see what direction things are going. All right, guys, it is 9 o'clock here. Thank you guys all for tuning in. If you're still here, go ahead and smash that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Remember, every Thursday I do go live at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, so we can talk about the market, free alerts, and some of the questions you guys may have. I appreciate every single one of you guys tuning in, but I got to get back to the room, prepare for the market open in half an hour. We'll see how things go. Getting a nice rush here, nice push here in the pre-market. Let's hope these things stay up, and yeah.